Greetings viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Rabbi Dr. Oluwafemi. Today I'll be speaking on the biblical Hebrew and with the topic the Dagesh. And when we talk about the Dagesh, it will be written this way or this way. Depending on this is the transliteration, while this is the English Dagesh. So when we talk about the Dagesh in biblical Hebrew, there are a group of scholars called the Masoretes who came up after a good period of time, because before the introduction of pointings and made vowels, we call something matres tionicod, which means mothers of reading. Alright, so those were the form through which the people, or maybe the rabbis, then were interpreting the scriptures. I mean, they were using that just to compensate for vowels. So there are a good number of consonants that were used. So now, they also introduced what we call pointings, and this is what we call the Dagesh. So, and what is the Dagesh is not a vowel, however, is a dot that is formed majorly at the bosom of the Begat Kefat letters. Now, when we say Begat Kefat letters, you check my video on Begat Kefat letters. Written this way and this way. So these are the Begat Kefat letters. And what are they? We have Beit, we have Gimel, we have Delet, we have Kaf, we have Pe, Pe, and we have Ta. Alright. We have Kaf, we have Pe, and we have top. Okay, so these are letters that we have the Dagesh at the bosom. Now, this is the Dagesh, just like a dot. It's a dot, for instance, is placed at the bosom of this letters majorly. Now, when we talk about Dagesh, I mean in biblical Hebrew, it functions in various ways. Now, this Dagesh has two forms. We have the Dagesh Nine and Dagesh 40. So we'll be addressing them in a moment. But I'd like to know that majorly this Dagesh is found at the bosom of any of these 6 letters, which are called the Begat Kefat letters. You can check my video on Begat Kefat letters. So the function of this is based on what form it takes. For instance, it says we have 2 forms. We have the Dagesh Nine and Dagesh 40. So let's move to Dagesh Nine before we dive into the Dagesh 40. So when we talk about 2 forms of Dagesh, we have Dagesh Nine or Dagesh 40. Alright. Dagesh Nine is a dot formed at the bosom of the Begat Kefat letters. Alright. Then it has 2 functions. The first is that, just like the heritage of each of these Begat Kefat letters, normally they take that dot at their bosom. For example, we have Delet. Normally it's written this way because that is the form they take. So now this, if it is a Dagesh Nine is found at the bosom of only the begat the fat letters. Only the begat the fat letters. So you can't find them in the gutturals or resh. So Dagesh Nine is a dot found at the bottom of the begat the fat letters, as I've listed earlier, and it functions as adding this it addings the pronunciation. For instance, when the dot is there and it's the Dagesh Nine, it becomes dilit instead of when it's not there, it will be translated as the, as in them, th, instead of being translated as d. So what the Dagesh Nine does is, so when introduced, then when you have to transliterate this in English, write in English, it should be written this way, because this dot introduced is Dagesh Nine, and it has addings the pronunciation of the letter called delete. So it is delete. Alright, so that's one thing it does. And this Dagesh Nine also refers to as a weak dot. It's a weak dot. Alright, now for instance, we have an example of this. Let's have an example of this. We have this word daba. It's translated. We have delete. We have kamet. We have bait. We have kamel, and we have resh. And it means a thing or a word. So this dot is a Dagesh Nine, because this is one of the begat the fat letters. So they allow for a Dagesh, and that Dagesh is called Dagesh Nine. And another thing to also note about this is that once this dot is introduced, it addings the pronunciation of this word. It becomes de. Alright. Now, for instance, this is another begat the fat letter. This bait. Bait here was translated as V, because it has no Dagesh Nine at the bottom. I didn't mean there was a dot here, then it will be translated as B, because that dot, that Dagesh Nine, has deepens or addings the sound, making B. Alright, so that's one thing I would like to understand about the Dagesh Nine. Now, when we talk about the Dagesh Nine, it deepens the sound. I said when it's not there, it softens the sound. However, either it is daba or dava, the symbol, the sound doesn't affect the meaning. It means a word. So that's one thing to understand. That's unlike the English, when we have a word like advice and advice. We have X and we have C. This is advice as a verb because it carries X. This is advice because this C here, and this C has made the word a noun. But unlike the biblical Hebrew, when you come to biblical Hebrew, either daba or daba, it means a word. For instance, we have another word like tough. This tough, which means good, and it's also when this carries this as bait, it becomes top. It's still good. So the sound doesn't affect the meaning. So now let's move to the Dagesh meaning before we show how to understand. This Dagesh, the Dagesh 40 now. I talk about Dagesh 40, same dot. However, this Dagesh 40 is found at the bosom of both the Bigat Kefat letters and the gutturals. You can find this either in the Bigat letters and also the gutturals. What are the gutturals? We have Resh, we have Aleph, we have Ain, we have Het, and we have He and Et. So these are the gutturals and Resh. So you can find this, you can find the Dagesh 40 at the bottom of this consonants. Okay, and either this or this, but for Dagesh name we only have, it can only be found in the Bigat Kefat letters. Alright, so what does this do? The Dagesh 40. What about Dagesh 40? The Dagesh 40 not only addings the sound of the letter, but it also doubles the letter. Come again. The Dagesh 40 addings and doubles the letter. Addings and double letters. Addings and doubles letter. Where we have it. For instance, let's have an example of this. We have a word like Isha. So Isha is translated this Aleph, this Irek, this Shin. Now this Dagesh 40 here at the bottom. So that's doubles this letter, becomes X, double X. Then we have Kamet, and we have E. It means Isha. And now Isha means woman or wife. Okay. So in Bible Hebrew, we don't write two consonants unlike the English, where we have double P. What we do is we just introduce the Dagesh 14. So when the Dagesh 14 is introduced, it doubles the letter. So we know that I've seen here. Okay. So that's one of the things it does. It doubles and also addings the pronunciation. So when we have the Dagesh Dagesh 14, it doubles the letter and also addings the pronunciation. Now, how do we now distinguish between the Dagesh Nine and Dagesh 40? Because we have the same dot. This is the same dot. So how do we distinguish? From the first is that the Dagesh Nine can only be formed in the Bigat Kefat letters. They are only seen inside the Bigat Kefat letters. That's one. And also, Dagesh Nine also are found letters that follows a Shewa, or a Sheva. So to know which one is in place in any dot, in any word, you see that if it is Dagesh Nine, then it will follow a Shewa in a word. For instance, we have a word like miss. We have a word like miss. Like with T means Miss T. This is Sheba. So this a Dagesh. So this one is a Dagesh Nine because it follows a Sheva. So this Sheva only divides the syllable and it means a feast. A feast. So that's one way to know which one in a word. When the Dagesh follows a Sheva, I'll check my teachings on Sheva. When it follows a Sheva, then it is Dagesh Nine. Dagesh 40 doesn't follow a Sheva. Alright, so that's one way to know. And we have another thing to also know that the Dagesh Nine begins the word. It begins the word. For instance, although this, we have to biblical Hebrew laws that are exceptions. Alright, so this valid for a while. And majorly, the Dagesh Nine begins the word. For instance, the one I gave initially, Dava. Dava. So it begins the word. Alright, so that's it. Then we still have another word to show. For instance, when we move to the Dagesh 14, how do we understand the Dagesh 14? Now, Dagesh 14, as I've said, you can't find Dagesh 14 after a Sheba. And Dagesh 14, one of the things how to really know Dagesh 14 is that it is found in letters, letters that are not begat Kefal letters. So you can see Dagesh 14 there. And for instance, we have a word, like is this word in Hebrew means is sin. Is sin, as in this way. Here we have the Shadeh. Now this is a dot at the bottom of Shadeh. So it's a Dagesh 14. So it deepens and it doubles the letter. So it becomes Shadeh. Then we have the Irek Yod. Then we have the Mem, final Mem. So it's Misim. Misim. And it means arrows. It means arrows. So I said Dagesh 40 is found in letters aside the gat fat letters, and as well when it is seen also when the scene where we don't have the sheva before that consonant. So this is an example here. And another thing to also note about the Dagesh forte is that the Dagesh forte follows either short vowel or long vowel. So in other words, so they are formed after full vowels. No full vowels in Hebrew we have the short and the long vowel, like Kamet, like Irek, like Siri. So we have them that way. And this also so a typical example. This is Irek. So Irek, after Irek, then we see the Dagesh forte. So you don't see Dagesh needed following a letter with full vowels.